welcome to another AV Jam with me, the same two. I could have called you something then, but I won't. And we have a pretty cool session today, actually. But the first person I want to introduce is the person who actually followed AV Jam before I think we even had a name. Long before I followed him, anyway. We have
definitely.
Patty kind of found us and sniffed us out before we even had a clue. So, Patty, give us a wave. And we've also got Mr. Paul Harris, both from Aurora Multimedia. And they've got something pretty new, pretty exciting, pretty cool looking piece of tech to show us. So, Paul, I believe I'm going to hand to you. And then you're going to give us a bit of a overview of what it is, what it does, and hopefully a bit of a cheeky demo.
Yeah, so thank you very much, and nice to be on the show. So what we're proud to announce here is the Tauri, spelled Tauri. It's a temperature tablet that we worked in conjunction with Glory Star, which is a partner of ours overseas. And they came to us and showed us what they were up to, and I saw that technology. I was like, oh my God, what if I take some of our stuff and intellectual property that we're doing and merge the two together? We can go just beyond the temperature tablet and make an integrated solution. So that was one of the important things to do with this. So anybody could take a temperature. What you do with it and what you continue with it and how you integrate it is a whole nother animal. So you're actually the first person I'm really talking to this level on of any of the interviews that I've done so far. So now that I've established that, and the fact that it's all scripting based and you can use even standard web languages or our tools and it's portable, now here's the brilliance of it. We put it into the panel. So now, and here's one of the panels right here. And I did find out our demo unit's available, so I'll eventually move us over into there. But I don't know if you can see, it's picking up a temperature that's over 100 right now from my screen because it senses everything. I'll do this for the United States. It's 0.3 Celsius. I usually don't talk in Celsius. Patty knows that. I'm American, so I got to talk Fahrenheit all the time. So 0.3 degrees Celsius. So it's actually very accurate, and it measures the entire face. So when you walk up to it, as long as you're within 0.5 meters, I'm working on that area. So 0.5 meters. Well, you're in the UK anyway, so you're working off the English system anyway. So
imperial and metric mean nothing to us. We just blend it.
Yeah, I know.
We have the weirdest thing.
You can talk speed.
Yeah, I know. Also, I'm from the UK and it's the English system, so I'm like, what am I talking now? So it kind of all of a sudden hit. I'm blurring you into all of Europe. But anyway, it's about 1 feet 8 inches or 0.5 meters to a meter, which is 3.3 feet. And as long as you're within that range, it'll detect you. It'll actually detect you outside the range. But if you want the highest accuracy,
reading.
Yeah. So now what happens is once the React is in there, the React does more than that. It actually can take that information. It can web serve it up to a web page. I could have 100 of these panels, go out to all the panels, grab it in, have the integrator create a custom web page of their own design. It lives inside one or all of the panels, doesn't matter. Pull it back out, manipulate the information, trigger a relay. You want to hook it into a security system? You don't have to wait for us to write a driver. You can make the interface driver. So by doing this, it allows you to design how it's going to look and how it's going to configure with the customer themselves, even right down to the screen itself. You're going to be able to custom, some of these are in firmware stages, but you're going to be able to customize the screen. So whereas there's a few that are hitting the market because they're catching up to us now, but they're just temperature sensors. We're a solution. And so when you saw that panel, by the way, that is an Android brain inside that panel with the sensor on top. And our React engine runs inside of it. And it's got an HDMI out for a secondary monitor, because that's another thing we're going to talk about when I go into the demo room. Okay, great. I'm about 7 feet away. I'm going to approach it. And as you can see, I'm about 3.3 feet away. There's my temperature reader. If I go a little closer, I'll get a little bit more accurate. And there you can see it. It's in Fahrenheit. But the good news is I can change that. That's a secondary monitor. So we have the ability to have a secondary monitor on this.
Because there's a HDMI in the back.
Yes. So let's see here.
Of all the screens, all the sizes, not just that 21 inch.
So here we go.
Okay.
As you can see, it's already detecting me, and I'm far away. And as I go closer, it's saying I have an elevated temperature. And if I move away, it stops. Very quick, it's instantaneous.
Really quick.
So he's going to remove that.
Yeah, it's usually pretty annoying. So sorry to say, but I don't feel like listening to that.
So as you can see, it's pretty quick. And also, in addition to Reacts, can you tell them a little bit about the digital signage and the other features that'll be added that also differentiates Tauri from any other product out there?
So the Reacts, and that was why it was a big part of it. And yeah, I'm going to lean back. Notice my Infocom 2020 shirt there, the irony.
Today I noticed in my my Apple Wallet that I've got all the tickets to the AV and the AM thing, the show, and everything, and it made me a little bit sad.
Yeah, I'm honest.
I know.
This is a collector's item.
Yeah.
That could be worth a fortune as well. That. The one that never was.
The one that never was. So reminding me how we had to go from Florida back to Florida. So I miss Vegas. So
I definitely miss Vegas.
I think everybody misses Vegas. So the other things it's going to be able to do is it'll do facial detection. Not so much recognition yet with these models because we're finding there's privacy concerns and HIPAA and those type of things. So we're not as focused on that because there's very high quality equipment to do that type of thing. And that really itself is a security industry. We do have another model coming out, which in a few weeks, which is waterproof and a little bit smaller and different looking for like restaurants and things of that nature. That does have a full 3D camera on it for doing the facial recognition. But even with that, I don't think it's going to be as popular as people think it is. The more important thing is to detect, are they wearing a face mask, which we can do. And by the way, which I didn't show in the demonstration, if I cover my face up, I can even put a box here and it will still detect the accurate temperature. I can even put it up here and block my forehead out, and it will still actually measure probably maybe 0.1 degrees C less temperature drop. It won't be a lot, but you'll see a little bit of a drop because it's losing some of the blood flow over here. But overall, it's pretty reasonable so that even if it's being blocked, it does pick you up still. If you block the whole thing, then yes, obviously you're not going to get a reading on it. So now one of the other cool things is, why do we have small and large size panels? Good question. So the reason why we have it is, I'm answering for you now. Again, I'm going to run the whole entire thing.
Just go for it.
Okay.
I'm going to put my feet up in the step and sit back.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to do one of those now. So what happened was, so we have a digital signage engine that's going to be available for it. So not only can you customize the way the face of it looks and control, inevitably be able to control where you place things. So the integrators are going to be able to fully customize the screen through the Reacts and its tools. So there's a lot of devices, you're stuck with however the information presents itself. We're going to allow full customization right down to putting customer logos on this thing. So it'll be more customized. Now, sometimes people say, oh, it's nice and it's small, so now it doesn't take up a lot of space. Well, that's great, but some people want the bigger ones for instructions. So what to do next, what to do first. So the bigger ones have that advantage to it. So there's always a pro and a con to everything. The other thing, too, is the bigger ones, like the 21-inch, that sometimes can give back revenue where it pays for itself through ad revenue and doing digital signage with it. So we are embedding a digital signage application into it where through the Reacts, you could set up schedules. at 8 o'clock, turn the system on. You can even shut the lights off, whatever. It's a full-blown control engine in this thing. So, and there's no additional cost for it. It's right in there. The digital signage player feature, that will probably be at additional optional cost. We have not set it, but it'll be fair. Aurora doesn't try to gouge. We try to be fair with everything that we do. We make it reasonable. So, but we can't give away everything for free. So this engine will allow you to use a secondary monitor and hook up a secondary monitor and have that as a playback engine. Or take the main one. Nobody's present. Shows something up on it, whether it's an image or whatever. If you think about it, you got about 3 seconds that somebody has to stand there just to settle in and see what the reality of it is. Even though we say it does it in 1 second, it's really instantaneous. But to stand there for 1 second is going to be too quick. So realistically, even though it scans in less than a second, you really got to stand there for about 3 seconds just for everybody to understand what's going on at that moment. But during that 3 to 5 seconds, let's just say, you could put a simple picture ad up there. For if it's a pharmaceutical, put a Tylenol up there, or a plug for Tylenol, I guess. I'll take care of Advil also. I like Advil. So I got to stay neutral on this. And then we'll put a leave in there too. I'll go for them all. So so I should have a bottle here and then like black out the area like they do on a lot of programs. Yeah,
We'll start getting advertising on this and telling you.
Sorry, Infocom, no plug. So what we'll do is, so we'll have a digital signage feature on it. We'll have a people counter on it too, so you could tell how many people have gone through and at what time. So you can create databases out of this thing and find useful information to know when your high and low points were. So even people who never had this feature, we don't want to just sell them a temperature tablet with like, oh my God, I paid this much and all because of this thing. No, we don't want that. We want it so that it gives them a secondary benefit where it really earns itself. And the other thing that was beautiful with this is we sold it only through our direct dealer channel. So one of the important things that I've been pitching here is this wasn't just about Aurora making a product with our partner overseas. And actually, I got to plug out to them. They've been great partners. So hi, Cindy and Herman. They're my partners overseas, so they like to hear stuff like this too. But my thing is that it takes a partnership to do things, and they're really on board with us on this as well. So it's been actually a lot of fun developing this. And one of the important things that both our companies agreed upon is this isn't just about us making money or something like that off of a product. This was about helping out everybody. So it wasn't just getting the temperature sensors out there, which are going to help businesses open up and customers feel safer. But this is going to have a lot of trickling effects in a lot of ways. So, for example, when a person goes up and they're detected, you may have just helped them have that extra time, not realizing because who measures their temperature in the morning to say, oh my God, I'm already getting an elevated fever. I better go get checked out and do something. Plus, you're protecting the people. You're taking away liabilities from sites. Because even if they have an infection and they're running 103 from an infection, you don't want somebody possibly convulsing, passing out, something happening in a facility. And once again, they may not realize the condition they're in, and you may have just helped save their life. So from that perspective, you're going to help a lot of people out, and you're going to get businesses back open. Now, for the AV industry itself, which is very important to us, there's a lot of companies out there, and even us, everybody wants to sell their product, they want to do business, but the reality of it is we can't all get out there and do what we're doing. So it is important to us to do something that the AV industry can take and run with for the short-term box sale and for the long-term integration of it. So you needed a kind of a two-step thing as we slowly come out of this. So we didn't just go selling it through willy-nilly through all different companies and find people with all different brand names of the same product. That hurts the industry. It doesn't help it. It creates price competition and confusion, and you can't get the support. Sometimes end users don't appreciate. So I got to talk to you end users out there, but sometimes end users don't appreciate the importance of an integrator and what they provide, which is that level of support. A manufacturer can only do so much, but you need the intelligence of the integrator and their certified people that are out there to actually support the product. It's critical. So I know sometimes people are like, but I got it cheap on the internet. Okay, great. Now try getting support when you really need it. You don't have a direct communication channel. We've worked with people since we've been talking with this, and they've given us some great ideas, and guess what? they're going to get those ideas because they've been able to communicate to us. We write the code. We can make that difference. We're not some obscure company out of China or another country that is making these things that you just don't know where that factory is, and they sold it to everybody. So, I'm not saying that there's not good companies out there that make products, but a lot of times you know the pattern. It's some random company that no one knows about in some part of the world. So, no, I'm not picking on China specifically, but I'm just saying in general, they're all over the world, and you don't know who they are, but somehow you got 20 products that have the same look but different labels on it. It's ridiculous.
We're doing well for time here. We've got one question before I end on this. Was this product in development before the virus got the world, or is this something you developed since the virus?
Okay, so temperature sensing's been around for a while, but the application to use it like this probably happened because of all the elevated need for the temperature sensors. So as much as I'd like to say it's a revolutionary new product, no, we're taking a screen that's been around for a few years with an Android engine in it. We have a sensor that has a very high sensitivity, one of the best on the market, which is made in Germany. The company is actually in Germany. And when you combine it with the right software and firmware and put the energy into that, you have a solution. So we created a solution that solves problems. And this is what it did, is it solved the problem. It not only takes care of the temperature, but it also integrates itself into things, and it has secondary uses like the digital signage and other aspects to it that give you back a return on the investment instead of just having that one narrowed vision. I can even put up a touch panel on here to just like any other touch panel for a control system and control things with it. So it's really giving a very good value for the price, more than people realize. Normally, you know what it costs to put in a control system and just a thermal sensor. I mean, it's ridiculously expensive, and this is combining them both in there for a very reasonable price. So that's really what it was about. So yeah. So.
It really did. This particular product did start because of coronavirus, but it is not a coronavirus detector. But you're absolutely right, Jason.
Yeah, we need solutions. We need solutions for the integrator. We needed something for them to sell and keep the lights on and keep their employees paid. And so we weren't looking at our existing product lines and saying, please buy this, please buy that. We said, what can we do as far as a product that you can actually move and do something and actually become active again? And so that's what we were looking at, is what type of a product can we do? We actually haven't even accessories. So another person put it very well, which in essence, Aurora just created a whole pivot market in the AV industry. And this is a long-term plan, not a short-term plan. So we're creating a whole new market in the industry that every AV integrator is going to be able to work on. So as we come out of this and the other jobs slowly come to life again, you're going to have a very, very strong market with this. And this is going to keep, and this was important. We heard statistics that, take it for what it's worth, we're hearing as many as 20% of the AV integrators were going to potentially go out of business from the coronavirus and staying the doors shut. And we already heard so many sad stories of companies having to cut salaries and lay people off, furlough them, which is not cool. And responsibilities, everybody's supposed to help each other in the industries. So this is kind of one of our ways of, not only helping our own company and keeping our employees, paid and the lights on, but it's about doing it for everybody else. And so this was our answer to it, was we saw the technology, like, we got to get on this immediately, get it out there, get everybody making money off of this, solving problems, which in turn helps the restaurant chains and the healthcare making money. And it basically helps the whole economy no matter where you are in the world. So we look at it as one of the slogans we love to throw in is, we're good for slogans, is made in the USA, built for the world. Because it's all about the whole world. And people are going to realize that it is a global economy, and we're all in this together is really what it comes down to. It's not just about one country or another. It really is about everybody.
I think that's the beauty of it for me. There's a couple of things. One you've already covered, and it was the privacy, it was the security element of it. It was that fear of, okay, what is this collecting of me and what's it going to do? You've already said you're not holding that data, you're not taking any personal data. It's up for whoever's using that system to decide what they're going to do, and they've got their own kind of legal elements depending on the state or the country to work with, and that's fine. And I think it was something Jace said at the start, and something that we've spoke about for a while. It's something innovative to get us through what this is, but to almost keep the world ticking over afterwards. Once we finally get out of this lockdown and we're allowed back into the big wide world, there is going to be a massive fear factor. Massive. For people wanting to walk around and shake hands and start cuddling people again and walking into restaurants and going sitting in the cinemas or anything like that. But having something like this, just to take that element of fear away that says, I'm in a public space and I know this is telling me you've not got a fever. And it's also told me that everyone else in that room hasn't got a fever. Just that little sense of almost personal security that, oh, I feel okay. I'm a little bit more confident. I'm happy to go in. Let's get these businesses back in and go and work and almost reintegrate into culture. So for me, I think it's perfect.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's one thing that I do like to point out to people that people really don't give this a lot of thought is, while as unfortunate as this is, in the long run, it is going to increase the quality of life. Because now that everybody takes it seriously, it's one thing to talk about that it could happen because people don't seem to take things seriously until it happens. But then when it does happen, it's a reality. And now this is legit. This can happen. And things spread very quick in the world. And so Asia, for example, has been wearing face masks for years. It's part of their culture. And other cultures, whether it's the United States or the UK, you don't see us wearing masks when we have a common cold out of courtesy. So I think one of the things that you're going to see socially change, it won't be perfect because people just tend to get lazy again. It's just human nature. But I think you're going to see a vast people and companies insisting on this because going forward, regardless of a pandemic or not, just a flu or a common cold, people are either going to stay home now or they're going to wear a mask. And what you're going to find is people are going to be a lot less sick in general, and it's going to raise the quality of life. Because wouldn't it be nice if you can go an entire year without getting a cold or the flu or something else that you just don't want? So if people practice this going forward, people may just get sick a lot less, and you don't have to waste money on all the medicine and feeling miserable in bed and not going to do the favorite things you do. So I think in the long run, you're going to see people will be a lot less sick out there after this.
Yeah, even with all the shutdowns, you can see how there's, less pollution and everything else. So less footprint. I think it's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Should we wrap up on that? Thanks, guys. That's really interesting. Hopefully we'll get some good news for this one. Get some products out.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. It was great to see you. Stay safe in this environment. Keep giving us all the great videos that you guys do. We look forward to seeing them.
Yeah.
Take care.